All right, good evening. I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. It is 7:58 on Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021. Let's go ahead and talk about what we have going on right now. We're starting to get near the heat up point for when we're expecting to become a little busier tonight and this evening. Right now, we have showers and storms across the western Texas Panhandle racing east-northeast at about 60 miles per hour. These showers and storms are not producing hail, but they are producing very strong winds, 60 to 65 miles per hour, even where we have just some light rain. The storm just southeast of Dalhart produced a 65-mile per hour wind gust. Well, actually, I'm sorry, about 53 knots, about a 60 to 62 mile an hour wind gust a few minutes ago at 7:55, so that was 4 minutes ago. But we're expecting vigorous thunderstorm development to occur in the next 2 to 3 hours across the eastern Texas Panhandle, northwest Oklahoma, the eastern Oklahoma Panhandle. Those storms may become severe with damaging straight line winds, some hail, and we can't rule out a few tornadoes. What we have at the moment that is not on Texas' side of the Red River, but the Oklahoma side, we've got a large and extremely dangerous tornado in progress now northwest of Frederick, coming up on Highway 5 Charlie. This is going to be east of Tipton by about 4 to 5 miles, west of Manitou by about 4 to 5 miles. Longtime followers will know, if you were back with us in late 2011, I actually intercepted a tornado right about where this tornado is going to be moving. This one might be a mile or two east on Highway 5 east of Tipton. Switching over to the which way the wind's blowing mode, you can see we definitely do have a tornado down. This is 6 miles from the Frederick radar site. This is going to be winds moving towards the radar at about 30, winds moving away about 70. That's a bit weaker than it was a couple minutes ago. This was a very strong tornado just a few minutes ago. It may not necessarily be that strong now. It may be occluding. However, at this point, we've got the potential for this tornado to stay down for quite a while, or if it weakens and occludes, a new tornado could develop quickly. The good news is it looks like this tornado will stay west of Manitou, Oklahoma, and west of Highway 183 by about 4 to 4.5 miles. Regardless, you need to be in shelter. Those of you in Snyder, Oklahoma, Mountain Park, Oklahoma, this is going to be crossing Highway 62, very near Highway 183, near Snyder, west of Indiahoma, west of Cache. For those of you not familiar with the area, this is southwest Oklahoma, west of Lawton by about 30 to 40 minutes. Mount Scott is up near where Medicine Park, Oklahoma is. The lake there, a very beautiful small town. Then you have Mount Scott, which is about 2,000 feet above the surface, a beautiful view. This is going to be a good 30 to 40 minutes west of there. This is going up Highway 183 to Snyder and Mountain Park, Oklahoma. We've got a tornado down. Our storm chaser's reporting a tornado right now. This is going to be with the storm currently near Clinton, Oklahoma. Let's switch sources. We've got live video of that, I believe. Meteorologist Jason Cooley's live streaming video. There's not a tornado warning on this storm, but there's a tornado down because our folks are looking at it. So regardless, we've got a tornado down right now just northeast of Clinton, Oklahoma. This is going to be with a supercell moving northeast at about, well, it's moving a lot more than at 25 miles an hour. Again, this is going to be a tornado confirmed right now by our folks, our storm chasers, meteorologist Jason Cooley, Stephen Jones, Alex Bartholomew. This is going to be very near Clinton, Oklahoma, a bit south of Arapahoe, moving northeast. That'll stay north of Weatherford, Oklahoma. Should remain well northwest of Oklahoma City. You'll see the tornado warning polygon here in just a moment, but again, a confirmed tornado now near Clinton, Oklahoma, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. They have very slow storm movement for some reason when storms otherwise are moving 50 miles an hour. We've got a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado with this thunderstorm north of Frederick, Oklahoma. Latest velocity scan off the Frederick radar is much less defined, so what we have going now is an occlusion process where the tornado that was ongoing is weakening. New one is likely going to develop and pose a significant threat to this town of Snyder, Oklahoma, and Mountain Park, Oklahoma, up Highway 183. If you're in Manitou, Oklahoma, you need to be in a safe place all the way up 183 to Snyder, Mountain Park. This is well west of Lawton, not a threat to Lawton, Oklahoma, not a threat to Altus, Oklahoma. You'll notice we do not have anything in terms of significant severe weather ongoing in the state of Texas, which is why we're talking about these storms in southwest and west Oklahoma. This is exactly why we're doing coverage for those folks. We have some fans that join us from there, and nothing's going on in our area right now. If we had significant severe ongoing in Texas, we would be covering it versus the Oklahoma stuff, but these are our neighbors, these are our friends, and we have a lot of folks that follow us, so that's why we are covering it. Let me see if we've got a live stream from Jason Cooley. So again, here's what we have going on right now. We have a tornado down just northeast of Clinton, Oklahoma. We've got Alex Bartholomew and Stephen Jones, our storm chasers. They're there. They've got a cone tornado down. Okay, so just southeast of Arapahoe, Oklahoma, storm chasers Alex Bartholomew and Stephen Jones reporting large tornado in progress. And yeah, you can definitely see that. We're looking at the which way the wind is blowing mode from Oklahoma City. We've got winds moving towards the radar in Oklahoma City at 51 miles an hour, winds moving away at 64, well over 100 miles per hour of gate-to-gate shear. We'll look at the correlation coefficient. We don't see a debris ball with this storm, which is good. It's a really rural area outside of these towns in western Oklahoma. So again, we have a large tornado currently in progress just southeast of Arapahoe, Oklahoma, northeast of Clinton, Oklahoma. This is going to be heading towards Custer City and Thomas, Oklahoma, Highway 33 and Highway 54. Y'all need to be in shelter now. This is well north of Weatherford, Oklahoma. This dangerous storm is now north of Interstate 40 in western Oklahoma. If you're on I-40, we're going to have a lot of storms out here later tonight, but for now it's clear. It's not going to be that way in about 2 hours. We've got a confirmed tornado that is likely in the occluding process near Manitou, Oklahoma, which is a good 30 to 45 minutes northeast of Vernon, Texas, on the Oklahoma side of the border. This storm is moving northeast at a faster pace, about 30 miles an hour, towards Snyder, towards Mountain Park. Those of you in Snyder, Oklahoma, we at this point recommend no travel between Cache and Fredrick on Highway 62. If you're in Altus, stay in town. Let this storm go north of 62 before you head east towards Lawton or Snyder. If you're in Lawton, do not go west towards Altus right now. Let this storm pass over Highway 62 before going northeast. Okay, we've got a tornado warning now up in the Oklahoma Panhandle. This is going to be for a circulation spinning up near Guymon, Oklahoma. Again, these are all storms that are starting to rapidly fire. At this point, we do not have any severe weather warnings in the state of Texas. If we do, we'll obviously cover those as our primary focus, but for now, we're going to be talking about these dangerous storms impacting Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Panhandle, and portions of western Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and switch over to the which way the wind is blowing mode, and this is not going to be a typical supercell as much as it is a squall line circulation. You can see, unlike the storms in western Oklahoma, these storms are relatively linear. That being said, they obviously do have a pretty good hail core based on those purples showing up. So this is a potential tornado northwest of Guymon. I'll just read the warning. This is going to be a circulation about 12 miles northwest of Guymon, Oklahoma, moving northeast at 35. So this should stay northwest of Highway 54. Should stay well north of Guymon, Optima, Hooker, Throne. This could eventually pose a threat to Liberal, Kansas in a not too distant future. At this point, circulation's right there. This could be a threat to Liberal, Kansas in about 30 minutes. Keep that in mind. Texas, we'll take a look at the radar from Amarillo and look at the developing line of storms in the Panhandle. At this point, we've got some small hail east of Dalhart. Could see some winds 50 to 55 miles an hour along 287 from Stratford to Cactus to Dumas over the next 30 minutes. Got more scattered showers and storms currently ongoing across western Oklahoma. These all have gusty winds. We expect more intense thunderstorms to develop across the eastern half of the Texas Panhandle within the next hour or two. and those could also become severe. But in terms of severe weather in the state of Texas, we don't have any at the moment. That is going to change. Okay, we've got multiple tornadoes down in western Oklahoma. Based on the fact we have folks who who follow us, we're going to go ahead and talk about these while we have a quiet period in Texas. Supercell, with a history of producing a large damaging tornado, is now just a few miles northwest of Manitou, Oklahoma, about 3 miles west of Highway 183. This storm is moving north-northeast towards the city of Snyder, west of Indiahoma by a good ways. This could be a direct threat to Snyder. Those of you in Snyder, Oklahoma, if you know anyone who lives around Snyder, west of Law, east of Altus, southwest of Medicine Park, Mount Scott, the beautiful wildlife preserve there. Give them a call, give them a text, tell them they've got a storm that's put a big tornado down in their vicinity. We'll switch back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode, and you can see we don't have a clear-cut circulation at the surface right now. One issue we are having, or have, is the radar is located where this, well, just southeast of Frederick, where this green dot in the circle of silence is. Radar is very close, so this is actually very near the surface. We're going to look up a couple of degrees in tilt, and this is a few thousand feet above the surface. We'll switch over to the velocity product, and you'll see as we keep looking up, we're seeing the mid-level circulation. So in all likelihood, we've got a new circulation now developing, and as that descends towards the surface, we're going to see a new tornado probably develop over the next 20 minutes or so as this moves northeast towards Highway 62. Tornado warning continues until, let's see, 8:30 p.m. for southern Kiowa and northwestern Tillman counties in southwest Oklahoma. Okay, we're going to go back to the circulation currently impacting areas north of Clinton. This is going to be a storm that actually has multiple tornadoes down right now. We've got a large tornadoes being circled by a satellite tornado, which can happen pretty easily on nights like this where we have such extreme low-level wind shear. We're going to switch over to the radar product at the surface. It's not exactly what I would call a great look. Let's see if we can get a look from Frederick. It might be blocked by the beam from the tornado-warned storm. Good enough. We have a tornado down with this storm that is currently east of Arapahoe, moving up towards Thomas, Oklahoma. Hail impacting Custer City on Highway 33, northeast of Arapahoe, Oklahoma. This is moving up towards Thomas, Highway 33, Highway 54. Folks out there need to be in shelter. Again, Custer City, Thomas, you need to be in shelter. This storm has a confirmed tornado down. Our folks are reporting a tornado down. Alex Bartholomew. Let's see if Jason's got any video real quick. Jason Cooley's streaming live storm chasing video on our YouTube channel, by the way. And I'm willing to bet he's heading towards the storm that is currently near Manitou. Okay, so to confirm, north of Arapahoe, northeast of Arapahoe, Oklahoma by a few miles, we have a tornado down. This is now north of Interstate 40, moving towards Thomas, Oklahoma. We've got a storm that has a history of producing tornadoes currently. Switch radar so we get a better look. One moment. North of Manitou, near Snyder, Oklahoma. Tornado doesn't look to be down right now, but it is currently in the recycling process, so this could put another tornado down at any time. So if you're in Snyder, Oklahoma, Medicine Park, Oklahoma, Mountain Park, Oklahoma, you need to be in your safe places immediately. Likely have golf ball to larger size hail falling in Snyder now. This storm is well west of Law and well east of Altus, not a threat to either towns. This storm is well west of Medicine Park, where the Mount Scott, or the wildlife preserve, is there. Those moose sounds you hear, by the way, are chats. Weather chats. So my apologies, but they do have interesting weather sounds. Put out a little tweet. By the way, good evening to all those watching. I'm David Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. It's 8:13, Tuesday, the 12th of October, 2021, covering a severe weather event that is unfolding now in western Oklahoma as we await thunderstorm development farther west in the Texas Panhandle. At this point, we have tornadoes: 1, north-northwest of Guymon, Oklahoma; 2, northeast of Clinton, Oklahoma; just northeast of Arapahoe, Oklahoma. Third tornado warning is near and just northeast of Manitou. Okay, here is the new circulation. I can tell you right here. The radar is literally 10 miles to the south, so we're looking a few hundred feet above the surface, which means you don't typically, or you're not going to see the typical hook echo with this thunderstorm until something, aka a tornado's down. We're looking up and tilts a little bit. What I want you to look at, I'm going to illustrate it. It's not your typical view. This is the actual hook echo. That is where if a tornado is going to come down, that's where the tornado is going to be. And right now, you just see little green blobs because there's nothing there. But look at the wind velocity, and you can see the circulation developing as we look up and tilts. It's descending towards the surface, so in all likelihood, we have a high probability of tornado genesis over the next 10 minutes as this dangerous thunderstorm moves north-northeast. Now, the new circulation here is farther east than the old tornado by about 5 to 6 miles. And tornado is now down. This is a confirmed tornado again, right? And I'm going to put up some roads. I'm going to try to, at least. Okay, so tornadoes crossing over County Road EW 169 now about 4 to 5 miles northeast of Manitou, heading towards Highway 62. The good news is this has a higher probability of staying just east of Snyder now based on the new position of the new tornado. Indiahoma, you need to be in a safe place immediately, as this is going to be a bit closer to y'all now. If this tornado begins to occlude, it's going to turn north and northwest, which would place Snyder at risk. So Snyder, you need to be in a safe place. Indiahoma, you need to be in a safe place. And absolutely no one should be traveling on Highway 62 between Cache on the east side, or if you don't know where you are and you are in that area, just don't go between Lawton and Altus for at least another 20 minutes, as another tornado is about to move over Highway 62 between Snyder and Indiahoma, Oklahoma. And again, we don't have much going on in Texas right now, which is why we're talking about this thunderstorm in southwest Oklahoma. We got lucky here in Texas in that this thing didn't put a tornado down until it got into Oklahoma. So that's what we have going on right now. We have a confirmed tornado 6 miles southeast of Snyder, or about 4 to 5 miles northeast of Manitou, moving towards Highway 62. Hopefully, this is going to pass just east of Snyder, Oklahoma by maybe 3 to 4 miles, very near Highway 62 and where Highway 54 intersect. There is not a lot out here. There's I think there's an old, pretty much an old abandoned town a bit of a ways up Highway 54 north of Highway 62. Either way, you do not want to be on 62 between Cache on the east, Fredrick on the west, or if you're not familiar with the area, don't go between Altus and Lawn for the next 20 minutes at least until this storm is over and north of the road. So again, this tornado is going to be crossing Highway 62 near Highway 54 within the next 10 to 15 minutes west of Indiahoma, just east of Snyder, if it does not turn to the west or to the east. And again, this is the kind of night where if we get any of these individual thunderstorms, whether they be in Oklahoma or Texas, there's going to be a significant risk of tornadoes in addition to large hail and damaging straight line winds. Now what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to try and get this set up. Give me just one incy beansy little second. I'm gonna get it captured. Here we go. This is live video for meteorologist Jason Cooley. It's been going in and out. Data's not the best, but he is currently heading towards the supercell in, well, near Snyder, Oklahoma. He is near Hobart, which is top left of your radar screen here. He's heading down Highway 183, and he'll then likely come in behind this storm, coming east on 62, and then, well, we'll see what he has, but you can see the lightning show as he looks through the precipitation or the updraft of the Snyder supercell. He wouldn't be able to actually see the tornado right now because he's in Hobart. He'd be looking through all the rain, the hail, and the tornado would be on the southeast side of the storm, on the other side of the storm. So he is going to have to get south to Snyder on 183 and then get east on 62. The problem is it looks like this is going to be going right into the wildlife preserve. So it is not going to be easy because the wildlife preserve doesn't have many roads and it's quite mountainous in that area, or at least hilly. So it's not a great area to chase storms at all. In fact, it's one of my most disliked areas. Chasing storms, I've chased numerous tornadoes over the last 12 to 13 years, from northeast of Vernon, near Davidson, Frederick, Tipton, Manitou, Snyder. I mean, I've chased more tornadoes here than I can count. I've seen tornadoes on multiple days in the exact same spot about 2 miles east of Tipton. So, kind of wish I was out there right now, to be honest. This is a sparsely populated area and relatively flat until the storm gets up into the wildlife preserve here on Highway 49, and then it goes into a road hole where there's a bunch of hills and wind turbines, and then you have to get back and intercept it on Highway 19 between Apache and Roosevelt. So this storm's moving northeast at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. If there's a tornado down, it's going to be near County Road 167 west of November 2320 Road, coming up on Highway 62, very near Highway 54. We've got a tornado near Custer City, Oklahoma, just southeast of town, most likely. We'll go ahead and go look at that. Let me switch radar sources so we can try and get a better look at this thunderstorm. This is going to be a circulation near Custer City, hopefully just southeast of Custer City. We'll switch over to the which way the wind is blowing mode. It's not anything to write home about in terms of a violent circulation on radar, but spotters have been reporting a tornado, and there is still a large tornado down based on a picture I've just seen 1 minute ago. So we've still got a sizable tornado down just southeast of Custer City, Oklahoma, moving towards Thomas, Oklahoma, up Highway 33. So if you know folks who might be in this area, Thomas and Custer City, Oklahoma, Highway 33, this is north of Weatherford, Oklahoma. Weatherford, Oklahoma, making that clear, Oklahoma. North of Weatherford, Oklahoma, up Highway 54 to Thomas. Custer City, Thomas, Oklahoma, northeast of Clinton, northeast of Arapahoe. Large and extremely dangerous tornado in progress. Okay, we've got a large and extremely dangerous tornado now reported 5 miles southeast of Snyder, northeast of Manitou. This is going to be another large and extremely dangerous tornado moving right towards Highway 62 and Highway 54, just east of Snyder. Again, we don't have anything going on in Texas right now, which is why we're doing severe weather coverage for our neighbors and our friends in western Oklahoma. So before folks start squealing, this is Texas Storm Chasers, why are we talking about a tornado in Oklahoma? Well, it's my company. I can do whatever I want, and this is what I want to do. I want to talk about tornadoes in western Oklahoma and give information to our friends and neighbors, so deal with it. Okay, it's going to be a tornado now about 2 to 3 miles southwest of Highway 54 and Highway 62 intersection east of Snyder, west of Indianhoma. It's going to likely be between County Road 167 and E1650 Road, west of north to south 2320 Road. We'll switch back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode, and you can see, yeah, we have a circulation. It's right there. We're looking 10 miles away from the radar. Let me go ahead and we'll get that. Ooh, and you can see the latest scan right there. We definitely have a very strong circulation, a large tornado in progress now, just southwest of southwest of Indiahoma, Oklahoma, southeast of Snyder. That's the which way the wind is blowing mode at literally 400 feet above the surface. Switch back over to the how hard it's raining mode, your classic hook echo. You've got your rear flank downdraft coming around on the southwest side of the storm, going back a little north, and that's a debris ball right there. That is the actual tornado you're looking at ground level. Switch to the correlation coefficient product. There's not a clear-cut debris ball, but that's a tornado. One, because there's folks looking at the tornado right now, and two, literally we are 10 miles from the radar in Frederick, Oklahoma. So this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado in progress now. Not far southeast of Snyder, Oklahoma, just southwest of Indiahoma, Oklahoma. And this is a dangerous storm moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour. This is going to be crossing Highway 62 near Highway 54 east of Snyder, west of Indiahoma. Again, this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado that is down. It is down, it is mad, and it is in charge. And this is moving east at 25 miles an hour. It should remain west of Indiahoma, the center of Indiahoma, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 miles west of Indiahoma. Snyder, it looks like this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 to 5 miles southeast of Snyder, Oklahoma. So do not be on Highway 62 between Cache and Altus, or let's just say Altus and Lawn for good measure. This storm's going to be moving towards the wildlife preserve in west of Mount Scott, just west of Medicine Park. Those of you who have been up into southwest Oklahoma before and visited Mount Scott, this is Mount Scott right here that I just circled. That's the mountain with the lookout on top of the mountain. Medicine Park, and then you've got the lake just east of Mount Scott. This is the wildlife preserve where there's no roads but beautiful views, bison, all sorts of beautiful animals, but you can't chase in there. It is a pain in the butt. Mountains, hills, hardly any roads whatsoever. So that is where that dangerous storm is going. Here's the latest reflectivity scan from the Frederick radar that is literally located right down the road by 10 miles. This is about as classic as you can get. That little knob on the end of the hook, that is the tornado. There's not really much out here, so if there was something this tornado was hitting, that thing would be lit up all red and purple, and that would be your typical debris ball. There's not much being lifted, but that's still your tornado. Switch over to the base reflectivity. There you go. You've got bright pink against bright green right there with this dangerous storm. And there we go. Latest scan. Tornado continues moving northeast. Large tornado crossing Highway 62 near Highway 54 right now. It's going to be crossing Highway 62 in the next 2 minutes. Crossing this highway just east of Highway 54, about 5 miles west of Indiahoma, Oklahoma. Again, we have nothing going on in the state of Texas right now, which is why we're talking about this. This is currently west of Lawn, Oklahoma, east of Altus, well northeast of Vernon, well northwest of Wichita Falls. We have a confirmed tornado down near Thomas, Oklahoma, southeast of Custer City, moving towards Thomas, Oklahoma. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. We have a tornado warning northeast of Guymon for a squall line. That's not going to include Guymon, Oklahoma. Looks like it's going to be staying west of Highway 54 for quite a while. Should stay northwest of Optima, Hooker, Throne. Could be a threat to Liberal, Kansas in about 30 minutes or less. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Texas Panhandle, where we do not have any severe weather warnings at this time, but we are awaiting thunderstorm development. Let's go ahead and get that radar to load, please, and thank you. Here's the latest radar. All these showers and storms across the western Panhandle are in more stable air. That is signs of upper-level forcing arriving. When that upper-level forcing hits a more unstable air mass, which I'm going to try and show here. Let me try and show it with this. You see all these showers west in the blue colors? That's low instability surface. Notice the storms up in the Oklahoma Panhandle and the pinks and the reds, how those storms are much stronger. When this activity across the western Panhandle or the upper level lift firing those storms up, moves into this unstable air mass, we're going to have a line of storms go kubuya, and we're going to have storms go up real fast. And if they're discrete, they're going to do the same things as these storms in western Oklahoma. We're going to have problems with tornadoes. If they're in a line, we're going to have issues with hail, damaging winds, and still a few tornadoes, but hopefully not the longer-lived, I'm going to rip your house and throw it halfway across the county kind of tornadoes. So that is what we have going on right now. That is what we're waiting for. Well, that wasn't very nice. Well, I broke the live stream for Jason. Sorry, Jason. Jason Cooley, meteorologist Jason Cooley, whose live stream that was, is currently heading south to near Snyder, Oklahoma. He's trying to get a visual on this thunderstorm, and specifically the large tornado that just crossed Highway 62. We're going to make sure that stays on. We'll try this. We're going to keep that on. His stream's going in and out as he goes through data issues. So let's go back to the Frederick radar. Actually, here, we're going to do this first. We'll go to the Oklahoma City radar. We'll switch back over to the super duper high-res weather radar data. It's going to be data showing a supercell with a history of producing a tornado currently near Highway 33 coming up to the town of Thomas. I have not heard any recent reports, but this storm has a history of producing multiple tornadoes over the last 30 minutes, some of which have been rather substantial in the width department. So we want everyone in Thomas, Oklahoma to be in a safe place immediately. If you're in Clinton, Arapahoe, you're out of the risk of this specific storm. You're going to have more storms later tonight. The storm of most importance at the moment is, holy mackerel, look at that. Woo-wee! You can't help but stare at that and realize you're looking at a piece of supercell specimen right there. You want to know what a textbook supercell is with a tornado? There you go. This is a supercell that is clearly tornadic, has a tornado down that just crossed Highway 62. You want to talk about supercell anatomy, supercell structure? All right, let's do it. This is your forward flank precipitation core. You've got hail just east of Mountain Park. Rear flank downdraft right there. That's your rear flank downdraft coming around the backside of the storm. Strong west-southwest winds curving around. And right there, that's your tornado. You got a tornado down north of Highway 62 now. Clear cut as day. If there was debris being lofted more than, fence posts and stuff, instead of that little tip of the debris or tip of the hook right there being yellow, you'd have reds and purples. Switch over to the correlation coefficient product. You've got a donut the size of a bowling ball. That's a tornado. Switch over to base reflectivity again. Next scan should be coming in. I made it mad. That is unfortunate for me, but, well, sad. Okay, we'll do that. You can see that. And note how quickly the structure changes over 2 minutes. This is not, supercells are not stagnant in terms of just motion. I mean, all of this is constantly changing. Radar only updates every minute or two, but supercells can change so quickly. Switch back over to the velocity mode. You can see, yeah, right there, north of Highway 62, about a mile and a half east of Highway 54, east of Snyder by 6 miles, west of Indiahoma by about 4 to 5 miles. Your tornado. Greens are moving towards the weather radar, literally located 10 miles to the south in Frederick, Oklahoma. Your pinks are moving towards, right there's your tornado where they converge. Switch over to base reflectivity. You can see the hook. Switch to correlation coefficient. Yeah, we got a bit of a debris ball. So that's what it looks like when you get a tornado right next to a weather radar versus when the weather radar is 50, 70 miles away and you have a much more coarse look, less detailed. So that's what we have going on right now. The storm's moving towards the Medicine Park Wildlife Preserve. West of Medicine Park, the Wildlife Preserve, beautiful area. Mount Scott is located right here. If anybody's ever been out to the Wildlife Preserve, gone up on Mount Scott on the road that takes you to the top of the mountain, that's the mountain right there. You've got the lake just east, and then Medicine Park, which, by the way, is kind of like a mini Estes Park now. It's a very nice little town with a lot of cute shops, restaurants. I was just there last week, which is why I bring it up, because I hadn't been there in a couple years, and I went last week, and I was like, wow. So, That's what we have going on right now in western Oklahoma. We've got a tornado warning in the Oklahoma Panhandle. This is going to be north of Guymon, Oklahoma, moving northeast towards Liberal, Kansas. You can see, unlike the storms further east in western Oklahoma, this storm is linear, and yet it is still producing a tornado because we have a lot of wind shear out there tonight. It's not your classic super duper supercellular look, but even though these storms are in a squall line, they're still producing golf ball or even larger size hail, damaging winds and tornadoes. That's what we expect here in the eastern Texas Panhandle the next few hours, as these showers across the western Panhandle move into a much more unstable environment in the eastern Texas Panhandle. We'll also have to keep an eye out across northwest Texas and the Big Country in case we have more storms fire up several hours from now. It's going to be a relatively long night for folks in western Oklahoma, the eastern Panhandle, and maybe even the Big Country, northwest Texas, as thunderstorms develop. So we're going to keep an eye on the sky. Let's go down the Edwards Plateau. We're expecting these storms in northern Mexico to organize and move into the Edwards Plateau and Hill Country several hours from now. The potential for some hail, damaging winds, much lower severe weather threat than up north in the eastern Panhandle, Oklahoma, but the heavy rain threat and flooding threat will be much more significant as we head into tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. So I'm David Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. We're going to keep an eye on things here. I'm going to keep the live stream on for Jason Cooley as he moves to intercept this storm. You can also watch all of this live on our website and over on our YouTube page. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers. So actually, just go ahead and head over to his stream. It's on our Facebook and YouTube pages and on our website. Jason Cooley's stream as he approaches a tornado-warned supercell with a confirmed tornado east of Snyder, Oklahoma. All right, you'll get to see me again tonight. Don't worry. We will be back.